I need to see proof of funds before I can show you this property. We have $3.2 million in liquid assets. We can provide bank statements and make a cash offer today.
The exchange took place on April 18th, 2023, at 2:47 p.m. inside the offices of Prestige Atlanta Realty in Buckhead. The security camera mounted in the corner of the room recorded everything. The desk, the chairs, the two clients sitting across from Robert Harrison, and every word spoken during the 12-minute meeting that would eventually destroy his career. Robert Harrison was a licensed real estate agent with 17 years of experience selling luxury properties. His specialty was Buckhead estates, homes with gates, circular driveways, and price tags exceeding $2 million. Over his career, he had sold 412 properties totaling over $600 million. His bio boasted membership in the $1 Million Club for 12 consecutive years. But his office security camera was about to document something he never intended anyone to see. That footage would be subpoenaed by federal investigators, analyzed frame by frame, played in a courtroom, and become the cornerstone of a criminal prosecution that would send him to federal prison. Here at what the camera saw, we shared documented and reconstructed cases, inspired by real patterns, to help viewers understand rights, decision-making, and real-world consequences. Our goal is education, awareness, and clarity, never sensationalism. Harrison had activated the security system that morning following standard office protocol. Every client meeting was recorded for liability protection. The footage was stored on a cloud server for 90 days before automatic deletion. What Harrison didn't realize was that this particular recording would be preserved as evidence long before that 90-day window closed. Before we continue, where are you watching from? Drop your location in the comments. If this is your first time here, subscribe to What the Camera Saw. Stories like these need witnesses. And your support helps us bring more truth to light. The Georgia Real Estate Commission had received 9 complaints about Harrison between 2011 and 2022. 8 alleged discriminatory practices. 1 alleged he steered clients based on race. Each complaint was investigated. Each was dismissed for insufficient evidence. But there was something commission had never examined: Harrison's actual sales record, broken down by client demographics. In 17 years and 412 transactions, Harrison had never sold a property valued over $1 million to a black family. Not once. Of those 412 sales, 308 involved white buyers. His 15 sales to black buyers were all priced under $600,000, all located in transitioning neighborhoods south of the city, far from Buckhead's exclusive estates. The clients sitting in Harrison's office that April afternoon were Dr. Marcus Thompson and Dr. Alicia Thompson. Dr. Marcus Thompson, age 38, was a board-certified neurosurgeon, Harvard Medical School graduate, Johns Hopkins residency. He performed over 200 complex brain surgeries annually at Emory University Hospital, procedures involving aneurysms, arterial venous malformations, and tumors. His annual salary was $950,000. He had published 14 peer-reviewed articles in JAMA Neurology and the New England Journal of Medicine. Dr. Alicia Thompson, age 36, was founder and CEO of NextGen Financial Technologies, a FinTech startup she launched in 2017. The company developed AI-driven credit assessment tools and had raised $42 million in Series B funding, reaching a valuation of $80 million. Forbes named her to their 30 Under 30 list in 2018. She held an MBA from Stanford and previously worked as a software engineer at Google. Her company employed 250 people. Her annual compensation exceeded $1.2 million. Combined, the Thompsons earned $2.1 million annually. Their joint net worth was $8 million. Credit scores both exceeded 810. They owned their current home outright, a 4-bedroom property in Druid Hills purchased for $1.1 million with no mortgage. They were prepared to buy their next home with cash, $3.2 million, ready to wire immediately. They were dream clients, but they were also black. The property they wanted to view was 4850 Tuxedo Road, a 7-bedroom estate on 1.2 acres, asking $3.2 million. Newly built, 9 bathrooms, 7,500 square feet, infinity pool, wine cellar, home theater, 6-car garage. The neighborhood was 91% white, 3% black. Median household income was $380,000. Dr. Alicia Thompson first contacted Harrison by phone on April 14th, requesting a showing. Harrison said he would check availability and call back. He never did. She called again April 16th and left a voicemail. No response. On April 18th, the Thompsons decided to visit his office in person. The security camera footage showed them entering at 2:47 p.m. Harrison greeted them and asked them to sit. Dr. Alicia Thompson placed bank statements on his desk, documents showing $4.1 million in liquid assets. Harrison examined the papers for 43 seconds. Then came the exchange that opened the story. After Dr. Thompson explained they had $3.2 million available in cash, the footage showed Harrison sliding the bank statements back across the desk. This particular property has very specific seller requirements, he said. The sellers are quite particular about who they allow to view the home. I'll need to check with them first before I can schedule anything. Dr. Marcus Thompson asked what specific requirements the sellers had. The camera captured Harrison's face as he hesitated. They want to ensure anyone viewing the property is seriously qualified. It's a very high-end listing. Dr. Alicia Thompson gestured to bank statements. We just showed you $4 million in cash. I understand, Harrison replied, but I'll still need to confirm with the sellers. Leave your contact information, and I'll be in touch, probably early next week. The meeting lasted 12 minutes and 37 seconds. The Thompsons left at 3 p.m. Harrison never called them. The security footage sat on the cloud server, automatically backed up, time-stamped, and preserved. The next day, April 19th, a woman named Jennifer Collins visited Harrison's office. She was white, late 30s, and worked as an investigator for the National Fair Housing Alliance. The Thompsons had contacted the NFHA after their experience, and the organization had designed a testing audit. Collins was a tester. The security camera recorded her arrival at 10:15 a.m. She inquired about 4850 Tuxedo Road. Harrison's demeanor was immediately different, warmer, more enthusiastic. He said the property was spectacular, one of the finest in Buckhead. Collins said she was interested but hadn't secured financing yet. Harrison said that was no problem at all. They could discuss financing options during the tour. He never asked for bank statements, never mentioned seller requirements, never said he needed to check with anyone. He offered to show her the property that same afternoon. The security footage recorded him saying, "I have time at 2 p.m. today, if that works for you. This is a beautiful home, and I think you'll love it." Collins accepted. Harrison gave her the address and his personal cell number. The meeting lasted 8 minutes. The contrast of the Thompson meeting was stark. Same property, same agent, completely different treatment based solely on perceived race of client. Collins toured the property that afternoon. Harrison spent 68 minutes showing her every room, pointing out Brazilian cherry floors, Sub-Zero appliances, Carrara marble. He said the sellers were motivated and might accept offers below asking price. He suggested she could probably secure it for $3 million even. Collins was not a genuine buyer. She was conducting a fair housing audit, standard investigative technique. Her role was to test whether Harrison treated white and black clients differently. The evidence was overwhelming. Should real estate agents who use different standards for black and white clients face federal prosecution? Comment your thoughts below. This wasn't just poor service. This was a violation of the Fair Housing Act, and the security camera recorded every moment. Patricia Okafor, an attorney with 12 years of fair housing experience, was assigned to investigate the case. She reviewed the Thompsons' account and Collins' testing report. Then she made a critical request. She subpoenaed the security camera footage from Prestige Atlanta Realty. The company was legally required to comply. On May 2nd, 2023, they provided the footage from April 18th and April 19th. The two meetings showing how Harrison treated the black couple versus the white tester. Okafor watched both recordings. The difference was undeniable. Harrison created barriers for the Thompsons, demanding seller approval despite having their bank statement in hand, while offering Collins immediate access with no financial vetting whatsoever. But Okafor didn't stop there. She expanded the audit. Over the next 2 weeks, the NFHA sent 4 more testers to Harrison, 2 white, 2 black, all inquiring about luxury properties above $2 million. All had similar financial profiles scripted to show identical qualifications. The white testers were offered showings within 24 hours. No documentation requested. No seller approval needed. The black testers were told they needed pre-approval letters, or that sellers required financial verification, or that properties were temporarily off-market. Every meeting occurred in Harrison's office. Every meeting was recorded by the security camera. Every recording showed the same pattern. Okafor filed a formal complaint with the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development on May 15, 2023. She included the security footage, testing reports, and a detailed timeline showing systematic disparate treatment. HUD's Office of Fair Housing and Equal Opportunity opened an investigation immediately. Investigator Carl Simmons was assigned to the case. He contacted Harrison on May 22nd to notify him of the complaint. Harrison denied any discrimination, claiming he treated all clients according to their qualifications and specific circumstances of each transaction. Simmons requested Harrison's complete sales records through a subpoena to the Georgia Association of Realtors. The data revealed a stunning pattern. In 17 years, Harrison had completed 412 transactions. Of those, 15 involved black buyers. Every single one of those 15 properties was priced under $600,000. Every single one was located in neighborhoods with black populations exceeding 30%. For properties above $2 million, Harrison had completed 63 sales. All 63 involved white buyers. 0 involved black buyers. Simmons also obtained Harrison's phone records, showing he received 41 inquiries about million-dollar-plus properties during a 30-day period. 26 came from white callers, 15 from black callers. He scheduled showings for 23 of the white callers within 72 hours. He scheduled showing for only 2 of the black callers, both for properties under $1.2 million. A statistician later calculated that the probability of this pattern occurring by chance was less than 0.0001%. Simmons expanded the investigation further. He contacted the 9 people who had filed previous complaints against Harrison. 5 agreed to interviews. Tanya Richards, a physician, described trying to buy a home in Sandy Springs in 2014, listed at $1.8 million. Harrison asked which neighborhood she currently lived in. When she said College Park, a predominantly black area, Harrison suggested she might prefer more diverse neighborhoods and never scheduled the showing she requested. Kenneth Odom, a Microsoft executive worth $6 million, described contacting Harrison in 2016 about a lakefront property priced at $2.4 million. Harrison demanded documentation of his cash funds. Odom later learned Harrison showed the same property to a white buyer the next day without requesting any financial verification. Gabrielle Foster, an attorney earning $750,000 annually, described Harrison telling her in 2018 that sellers were looking for a specific type of buyer who would be a good fit for the community. Her offer of $3.05 million was never presented. The property sold for $2.9 million to a white family 3 weeks later. The pattern was unmistakable. Systematic refusal to serve black clients seeking homes in affluent white neighborhoods, using tactics like demanding pre-qualification, claiming false seller requirements, and simply ignoring inquiries. Carl Simmons completed his investigation on July 20th, 2023. His report concluded that Robert Harrison engaged in a pattern and practice of housing discrimination violating 42 U.S.C. Section 3604, which prohibits discrimination in housing sales based on race. He recommended HUD file formal charges and refer the case to the Department of Justice for potential criminal prosecution under 42 U.S.C. Section 3631, which criminalizes interference with housing rights. On August 8, 2023, HUD issued a charge of discrimination against Harrison, seeking civil penalties and compensatory damages for the Thompsons and other identified victims. Harrison's attorney, Gregory Feldman, filed a response denying all allegations, but the security camera footage was devastating to his defense. The recording showed everything, Harrison's body language, his facial expressions, his tone, his exact words. There was no ambiguity. The Department of Justice Civil Rights Division received the referral in September. Attorney Lisa Hernandez reviewed the evidence and determined it supported criminal charges. She presented the case to a federal grand jury on October 11th, 2023. The grand jury watched the security footage from the Thompson meeting and the Collins meeting side by side. They saw Harrison create obstacles for a black couple with $8 million in net worth, while offering immediate service to a white woman who hadn't even mentioned her finances. They heard testimony from Dr. Alicia Thompson about the frustration and humiliation of being treated as unqualified despite her achievements. The grand jury deliberated for 51 minutes. They returned an indictment charging Harrison with 2 counts of violating 42 U.S.C. Section 3631. A interfered with the Thompsons' housing rights and engaging in a pattern of discrimination involving multiple victims over multiple years. Harrison was arrested October 18, 2023, at his office at 7:30 a.m. FBI agents executed the arrest warrant. He was processed at the federal courthouse, appeared before a magistrate judge, and released on $50,000 bond. The Georgia Real Estate Commission suspended his license immediately. Prestige Atlanta Realty terminated his contract. The trial began February 20th, 2024, lasting 3 weeks. The prosecution called 19 witnesses. Dr. Alicia Thompson testified for 3 hours, describing the April 18th meeting where Harrison examined their bank statements, showing $4 million, then claimed he needed seller approval before scheduling a showing. She described the humiliation of being treated like an unqualified buyer despite having more wealth than most of Harrison's clients would ever possess. Dr. Marcus Thompson testified about watching Harrison slide their financial documents back across the desk, as if the numbers meant nothing, as if their credentials were insufficient, as if they needed to prove something more. Jennifer Collins testified about her experience the very next day, how Harrison welcomed her warmly, offered immediate access, spent over an hour touring the property with enthusiasm. The prosecutor played the security footage of both meetings on courtroom monitors. The jury watched in silence. The other testers testified. Jerome Washington, a black tester, described being told he needed a pre-approval letter before Harrison would schedule anything. Andrew Mitchell, a white tester with an identical financial profile, described being offered showing within minutes, no documentation required. Dr. Paul Chun, a statistician with a PhD from MIT, analyzed Harrison's sales record. Using regression analysis and controlling for property price, location, and market conditions, he concluded the racial disparities in Harrison's transactions could not be explained by chance. The probability was less than 0.0001%. The only variable that consistently predicted whether Harrison would serve a client was race. Previous complainants testified. Tanya Richards, Kenneth Odom, Gabrielle Foster. Each described being turned away, redirected, or ignored when seeking by homes in affluent white areas. Harrison testified for 2 days, denying racial bias. He claimed the Thompsons' meeting was subject to legitimate seller requirements. The prosecutor introduced a listing agreement showing no such requirements existed. The prosecutor called the sellers, Richard and Susan Bradford, who testified they never imposed any restrictions and were frustrated Harrison hadn't brought them more qualified buyers like the Thompsons. The prosecutor asked Harrison to explain the security footage. Why did he demand seller approval for the Thompsons, but offered Jennifer Collins immediate access the next day? Harrison said every transaction was different. The prosecutor asked him to identify what was different about these 2 situations. Same property, same time frame, similar client inquiries. Harrison couldn't provide a credible answer. The prosecutor asked why. In 17 years, Harrison had never sold property above $1 million to a black family. Harrison said it was coincidence, a function of referral networks. The prosecutor asked whose responsibility it was to ensure those networks weren't exclusionary. Harrison didn't answer. The jury deliberated for 7 hours. Guilty on both counts. Judge Maria Castellano sentenced Harrison on April 16, 2024. She noted the security footage demonstrated clear, deliberate, and systematic disparate treatment based solely on race. She referenced the statistical evidence showing a pattern so stark and so consistent that it can only be explained by intentional discrimination. She sentenced Harrison to 27 months in federal prison, 2 years of supervised release, a $50,000 fine, and 500 hours of community service with fair housing organizations. Harrison began serving his sentence on May 20th, 2024. His projected release is August 2026. The criminal conviction was only part of the consequences. Dr. Alicia and Dr. Marcus Thompson filed a civil lawsuit in November 2023, seeking damages under the Fair Housing Act. The criminal conviction meant Harrison's guilt was already established. The only question was how much he and his former employer would pay. Prestige Atlanta Realty's insurance carrier assessed the risk. A trial would likely result in a verdict exceeding $5 million, given security footage and Harrison's conviction. They recommended settlement. After 4 weeks of negotiation, the parties settled on March 14, 2024. Prestige Atlanta Realty agreed to pay $2.4 million to the Thompsons plus implement sweeping reforms. Mandatory quarterly fair housing training for all agents with annual certification testing. Independent compliance officer with authority to investigate discrimination complaints and recommend termination. Demographic data tracking for all client interactions with quarterly public reporting. Prohibition on requesting financial documentation before property showings unless required in writing by sellers. Automatic termination policy for any agent found to have engaged in discriminatory practices. Whistleblower protections for employees reporting discrimination. A $250,000 compensation fund for other victims of Harrison's discrimination. Public apology published in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution acknowledging the violations. Commitment to recruit agents from underrepresented racial and ethnic communities. Annual independent fair housing audits with results published on the company website. The Thompsons used part of the settlement to establish the Thompson Fair Housing Fund, providing free legal representation to families facing housing discrimination. The fund has supported 13 cases in Georgia, resulting in 6 settlements and 3 criminal referrals. The case became a landmark. Law schools at Emory, Georgia, and Georgia State now teach Thompson versus Harrison in civil rights courses. The National Fair Housing Alliance uses the security footage in training seminars. HUD cites the case in policy guidance about the evidentiary value of video documentation in discrimination cases. Robert Harrison remains in federal prison. He has not issued a public apology. In a pre-sentencing letter to the court, he maintained that his actions were not motivated by racial animus. He attributed the verdict to misunderstandings. He never acknowledged what the security camera recorded: a pattern of exclusion, a system of barriers, a deliberate choice to deny black families access opportunities he readily offered white families. The irony is absolute. Harrison activated his office security camera every morning following standard protocol, believing it protected him from liability. He never imagined that camera would document his own civil rights violations. He never considered that the footage meant to shield him would become the evidence that convicted him. The security camera recorded everything. Harrison's reluctance when examining the Thompsons' bank statements, his invention of false seller requirements, his body language signaling discomfort and bias. Then, 24 hours later, that same camera recorded him welcoming a white tester with warmth and offering immediate access to the same property he denied the Thompsons. The device installed to protect Harrison became the instrument of his destruction. The footage preserved with timestamps, stored automatically and backed up to the cloud, created an unimpeachable record. When federal investigators subpoenaed that footage, they found 12 minutes and 37 seconds of video showing exactly what the Thompsons had experienced: discrimination clear and undeniable. Harrison walked into his office on April 18, 2023, expecting routine business. He met with clients, followed what he considered standard procedures, and never suspected that the camera mounted in the corner was documenting evidence that would end his career. His 17 years of selling luxury real estate ended in a federal courtroom, brought down by his own security system. The camera was always recording, and when investigators played that footage in court, it told a story Harrison couldn't refute. If you believe real estate agents who discriminate based on race deserve federal prosecution, and that security cameras can serve as tools of accountability in civil rights cases, Subscribe and turn on notifications. Tomorrow we have another story showing how the technology meant to protect can also expose the truth. Drop your thoughts below. Should housing discrimination carry criminal penalties? The security footage from Harrison's own office became the evidence that proved it should.